slowly but surely, as time goes on, I plan on converting this Woodland Mansion you see here into my home. And today, my friends, is the day where we work on our first major project in here. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Python, and welcome to my Let's Play world. The last time I worked on this mansion was actually in the form of a live stream, which I'm going to leave linked on screen for you folks. But ultimately, what happened is I went ahead and I emptied out the mansion in its entirety. Every single room is empty, and everything that was in here is in these chests. Now, as the video title and thumbnail might suggest, today, my friends, I'm going to be attempting to squeeze in our hostile mob drop trap farm entirely within the confines of this mansion. It is definitely going to be a challenge, but I think I've got some ideas on how to make it work. So without further ado, let's grab ourselves a bunch of resources and let's see about making a start here. Since we're still in the early stages in this world, we only really have plentiful access to the basics here. We've got cobblestone and a whole bunch of wood. But thankfully, because this is a hostile mob drop trap farm, and thus we don't have to worry about decorating it a whole bunch, this might actually do the job. Turns out we don't have enough iron to make the hoppers required for the kill chamber though, so looks like I'm gonna have to go iron hunting real quick. And while I get on with this, it gives me an opportunity to say a huge thank you for all of your lovely support throughout this series. And also to say, if you're new around here via this video here today, a warm welcome to you. I hope you'll enjoy what you see, and I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. That way you'll be the first to know when my new episodes roll out. And if you're interested in catching up on all of the episodes from this world here, there's going to be a playlist on screen for you folks. I spy with my little eye, I see something that's actually quite rare. Is that deep slate coal I see down there? Random side note, forget going ahead and putting down your own waterfalls to try and get down to lower down places. Why don't you just use vines? Hey, there's a mine shaft down there. Would you look at this? Looks like we've got ourselves a dungeon coming up here, folks. And would you look at that? We've also actually got chests in this one. The last dungeon I found in this world, there were none. We got completely debated. But here we are. What have we got? Name tags, record discs, luck of the sea. Hey, that's pretty good, actually. Oh, and iron as well. Just flat out. Haha. Well, that's the last bit of food on my person, and this is the last torch on my person. I think I should grab the iron there is around here and then probably call it a day. I'm not about to die down here. Oh, wait, no, hang on a minute. Your boy has just spotted a rather lovely piece of bread. Right, now we don't have any food. Oh, snap. This is a dangerous ascent. I wonder if I could go from vine to vine like Tarzan. Oh, yeah. And now if I could turn a corner. Yeah. Look at that. Who needs water sources, eh? Here we are, my friends. We are finally home. Let's go to sleep and let's take inventory of everything we've managed to get for ourselves. 54 bits of iron. Hey, that's more than enough. I mean, I only really needed enough for 3 hoppers, but I'll take the surplus as well. It'll be useful for something or other in future. In terms of our food situation, we're going to have to revert back to the early days of this series where we were using mushroom stews. I mean, they still do a good amount for us, so, you know, I ain't going to complain. So then, we've got the chests, we've got the iron. Let's get ourselves the 3 hoppers we need. And honestly, I think we're just about there in terms of the basic resources we need for this project. So in terms of where exactly we're going to be trying to squeeze a hostile mob drop trap farm, we're going to do it on the left-hand side where we've got access to all 3 floors. We've got this ground floor, we've got the first floor above us, and then we've got the second floor at the very tippity top. So here we are on the second floor. We're in the corner where we're supposed to be, and now all we need to do is start chopping away the floor. Question, why am I still using a stone axe? Oh, we just grabbed ourselves a whole bunch of iron. Python, why don't you upgrade? You could get this done a whole bunch quicker, you numpty. And now, up to the third and final floor. Let's start chopping away the floor here as well. My goodness me, this is about to get a whole bunch more dangerous, this project. How much damage do I take if I descend just one floor? Ow, 3.5. That's actually quite substantial. And then falling down here? Oh, 4 hearts remaining. Anyway, let's see if we can try to figure out this hostile mob drop trap farm together, eh? So, for any of you guys who don't know, of course, water buckets and water flows will go for 8 blocks. So going from the sort of very edge of the mansion, if we start going 8 blocks in, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it means the water will flow all the way to here. Right, so let's go ahead and do 8 blocks from this wall here as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means the kill chamber needs to go here. Wait a minute, I was on about re-upgrading to iron axes before. We've got 17 diamonds. What is stopping us from re-upgrading up to diamond? Now, in terms of how we're going to work with the sort of existing rooms in this woodland mansion, I think the easiest way to show you is to show you a screenshot. So check this out, my friends. I took this picture using my camera account from beneath the mansion. This is how it is laid out on the ground floor. So on the right here, that is where we enter, and where we are trying to set up our hostile mob drop trap farm is here. So, if you think of this box here as a room, we can use that as a basis to determine the size of various rooms. So in this case, it would be a 3x3 room, because we've got 1 room, 2 rooms, 3 rooms wide, and then 1 room, 2 room, 3 rooms tall. And just to hammer the point home further, as you can see here, we've got ourselves a 1x2 room. Over here, we've got ourselves a 2x2 room, etc., so on and so forth. Now, the overarching plan is to still work with these room sizes, but we're just going to wind up breaking some walls, maybe reconstructing some walls, and just basically configuring the mansion to be the shape and layout that I want it to be, you know? So in terms of the hostile mob drop trap 3x3 room, my plan is to have the kill chamber in the dead center. So that means trying to find the exact center of the 3x3 room space that we're going to be working with. To give you a little bit of a visual aid in game, these torches here represent the center of the various rooms, and basically all we need to do is we need to start chopping away some more of these walls so we have ourselves a 3x3 room. Probably the easiest way to align ourselves to the center of these here rooms is using the wall decorations here. We've got ourselves a plus symbol, we've got ourselves a plus symbol here as well. Just got to make sure we're staring them dead on, and then we place a torch. And there we are. That's the center of what would have been this particular room. So as much as, yes, we counted 8 blocks away from the 2 walls here to try and ascertain where we're going to put our kill chamber, actually, it's going to go here because this is the center of this 3x3 room. So these 3 can go. Now, the interesting thing is the actual kill chamber itself won't take up a great deal of space on the ground floor, nor even the middle floor. It's only going to be on the 3rd floor. That's where the spawning pads are going to be located, right? So there's nothing really stopping us from putting other stuff in this room down here with the kill chamber, right? Maybe we could have ourselves some massive storage. Maybe we could have some other utilities, maybe some mini automatic farms. At the end of the day, the world is our oyster. Or should I say, this mansion is our oyster. Real quick while I'm getting on with this, I did want to quickly mention that yes, I have taken on making a woodland mansion my home. Previously, I did it in a previous Let's Play, and I'm pretty sure I completed it. But the fact of the matter is, some of you guys might be thinking that I'm being unoriginal by going ahead and taking on another mansion. But hey, here's the thing. I didn't actually make a hostile mob drop trap farm in the original iteration of this project idea. So we're starting off already with something new. And hey, on a more basic note, the series I'm referring to, which had the original iteration of this project, that was nearly 7 years ago, would you believe? So hey, maybe this time we could do an even better job and come up with even more awesome stuff to put in here, huh? Before we go too much further with this project, I want to try and see just how much height space I have to work with for this hostile mob drop trap farm. If I bring up my F3 screen and look at my Y coordinate, which is the second one there, we're on Y64 currently. We need to go 24 blocks up, because that is how far away from you, the player, hostile mobs will start spawning. So what that means for us is we need to go to Y88. We might actually have ourselves a good amount of height space to work with. Going up to Y88 will take us to here. And then we've got ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers to work with. We might be able to get ourselves 2 spawn pad layers up here. Having 2 spawn pad layers would greatly increase the efficiency of this upcoming farm over having, say, just 1 spawn pad layer. So yeah, it turns out I might be able to make this farm actually quite efficient. But before we get too carried away, we've got some more chopping away of floors and walls to do. Ah, right. Having this massive roof be a spawn platform is going to vastly decrease the efficiency of our upcoming farm. So a project I might want to take on is slabbing this roof over, therefore restricting the spawn spaces, huh? Well, that's all the walls on the top floor taken out. I've still got quite a lot of chopping to do, and yet I have consumed this diamond axe. Wow, this is a bigger project than I first thought, apparently. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot to mention that sulfur cube pet we had inside of this base the last episode. You're gonna have to take my word for it, but it actually did wind up growing up in the finish, and that was without the usage of a slime ball. Unfortunately, though, it wound up despawning, which is why it's not here anymore. So, yeah. Be free, Sulfur Cube, wherever you may be. In the meantime, I've been left alone, completely petless. All by me lonesome. I need to go get myself a permanent pet, don't I? I need to go get a wolf or a cat or something. Anyway, for now, I think we need to get on with some tool making. And you know what? There is a way we can make this far more efficient. Why don't we finally make a start on a level 30 standard enchant setup? I have 41 levels at the end of the day. That's enough to enchant several times over. Ah, and talking of enchanting, now I know what I can use all of this iron for. Grab ourselves a few of these, and then make an anvil. 2 diamonds, 4 bits of obsidian, and then we've picked up a ton of books from clearing out the mansion rooms. Yeah, I know, I should have done this whole enchanting thing quite a lot sooner, eh? But, oh well, better late than never, right? Here we are, 15 bookshelves. Let's get these bad boys all placed down, shall we? So the big question is, what are we going to get for our very first enchant in the entire series? Fortune 2 on an axe, and that goes the same for all of these other tools as well. On a sword, looting 2, that's not bad. Punch 1 on a bow. Fire protection 3. These all seem to be very mid-tier enchants, don't they? Oh, except the boots here. I wonder, because we get Depth Strider 3 on iron boots, will we get that also on some diamond boots? Let's find out. Go on, Depth Strider 3, yes? Yeah, all right. Wow, that's actually a pretty good set of boots right there. Oh, Silk Touch on an axe, and that will go the same for all of these other things, right? Yeah, alright, sword, unbreaking, nah. Punch 2 on a bow, then we've got unbreaking, thorns, and unbreaking again. Ooh, do we want to prioritize a Silk Touch shovel or pickaxe? Do you know what? I think I mentioned in the last episode that I'd very much like to excavate this entire Woodland Mansion. That means getting rid of all of this land here so we can make it so the Woodland Mansion is entirely visible, like the whole lot, ground floor as well. So if we had ourselves a silk touch shovel, we'd be able to pick up all of this here grass and use it for future build projects or landscaping. So I think that, my friends, answers that. Do we want to put it on this existing one? Yeah, why not? Alright, boom. Oh, yes! I'm breaking through on a pickaxe. I'm breaking through on a sword. I'm breaking through on a bow. Are we going to get anything other than unbreaking? Oh my goodness. It really is just unbreaking. Oh yeah, totally forgot. We should look at books as well. Piercing 3 though? Nah, we could do better than that. Do you know what? Simply because I don't want to have to make myself 700,000 axes for this mansion project, I think I'm actually going to go for unbreaking on the axe. Hey, efficiency as well. Fortune 2 on a shovel. Knockback 2 on a sword. Power 3 on a bow. Looting 2 on a book. Oh man, really wish I went for looting 2 on this sword earlier now. Then I could have upgraded up to looting 3. Hindsight and all that, eh? So here's something interesting for you. I'm about to demonstrate a case of different enchantability for different tiers of gear. Check out this diamond pickaxe. We've got Fortune 2, right? On this iron hoe, though, and thus all iron tools, Fortune 3. So what if we were to enchant ourselves an iron pickaxe with Fortune 3 and use that bad boy to grab ourselves a ton more diamonds? Ah, smart thinking, eh? And there we are, Fortune 3 on an iron pick. Beautiful. Oh, it's got efficiency as well, but no unbreaking. So this thing, we're going to have to reserve it exclusively for mining higher end ores. Sharpness 4 on a diamond sword. Dude, that is very tempting, but check this out. We've got efficiency 4 guaranteed on tools, power 4 guaranteed on a bow, and then protection 4 on a chest plate. That is a difficult decision. Oh, do you know what? Because we're going to be using axes a ton in this big mansion project, it's going to have to be an axe, isn't it? Let's have it. Oh, Fortune 3. Not that that really does anything on an axe, but I'll take it. So then, my friends, back to some chopping. And oh my goodness me, is this so much faster than before. Why didn't I do this sooner? Wow, this is looking like a big old open space now, isn't it, my friends? And I've still got one final floor to knock out. This is going to be a huge space. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. An even bigger space. Oh my word. This is absolutely ginormous, this area, isn't it? Now, I realise, of course, the ground floor and even the middle floor, I didn't really need to break through all the walls. It was only really the top layer I needed to do, so I could then add in the spawn pad layers, right? But hey, whatever, right? We've got ourselves some nice blank, big areas to work with. Who knows what we're going to wind up populating this space with? Honestly, I've got no idea. Anyway, fact is, this is going to be our kill chamber. So, back up to Y88. And it's up here we can start adding in the first spawn pad layer. Wait, hang on a minute. I think I might have goofed up. I forgot to consider that there's going to be some water placed down that will make the mobs flow down into the center and down into the kill chamber. Now, usually I would add the water layer in 2 blocks below. So we're down here at Y86 instead. So what that means for us in terms of the kill chamber is I think we need to sink the kill chamber into the floor by a couple of blocks. Otherwise, the dudes that drop down into the kill chamber won't be a one-shot. But does that really matter? I mean, for the most part, I'm going to be going at those dudes with a diamond sword, ideally with looting and sharpness and sweeping edge, right? Do you know what? I'm going to say no, we don't need to sink the kill chamber into the ground. It's worth mentioning, of course, that the space between the windows/walls and the kill chamber is now going to be above 8 blocks. So we need to try and factor in a little bit of drop in the water. Because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, I'm going to count the distance between the wall and the torches now, and then basically divide it by 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that means we can do 6 blocks at the top layer of water and then 5 blocks on the bottom, or inverse, or whatever it is we feel like doing. Do you know what? While we're down here, why don't we go grab ourselves a second water bucket? Then we can actually start experimenting with the water flow. A thought occurs. Are these spawn platforms too big? And I feel like there might be a possibility of mobs spawning, not really moving all too much on the platform, never winding up going into the water, and then instead despawning. Are we overcomplicating this? I think we might be, you know. How about this for an alternate idea then? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would be the edge of the spawn platforms. Well, actually, strictly speaking, this would be the wall. What if we were to have ourselves some quartz glass surrounding the spawn platforms? Then we could just, like, observe all the hostile dudes who are on the spawn pads, right? I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud at this point. I don't know whether or not having huge spawn pads is the way to go. Normally, I go for, like, 8 by 8 because, of course, water flows for 8 blocks. So, yeah, it all kind of makes sense. But me going bigger with it, I don't necessarily think is going to make it better. Unless I have water flows at the edges here as well. So maybe we could start the water nice and high up here. It goes down to here, and then down again to here, which of course is the kill chamber area. I'll tell you what, let me mull those options over in the old noggin, and we'll see what happens. Alrighty, my friends, quite some time later, and quite a lot of jiggery-pokery later, I think I've got a water flow setup that might actually work. So, let me talk you through it. From the corner, we go 8 blocks, and then we go down a block. So, going from here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Then this would be where it ends, so then we make it go down to this next layer. And because the water source is in a corner going in a diagonal way, it means that it should flow down this sort of jagged edge here. So let me just go ahead and get the remaining bits put down here. So something like that. And now, my friends, we should be able to place down the water, and it should flow a heck of a long way. And as you can see, it does indeed. So let's go ahead and put another one in here, and let's see how these two sources connect up. Perfectly, in a word. Then all we need to do is go at it with some signs. These will help hold up the next water sources I'm about to place down. So we could place one here and one here. And then we'll need ourselves one in the center as well, of course. Turns out we're going to need ourselves some signs for the drop chute as well, but we'll get to that in just a bit. What I want to do right now is actually test this water flow. Will it send me all the way down to the kill chamber? Let's time-lapse this and find out. Yeah, looks like it will indeed, my friends. All right, job well done in terms of the water flows. Let's get the rest of them in. And then it goes without saying, for the slightly narrower waterways, all we need to do is a little bit of sign action, not with S's on them, and a little bit of this, a little bit of this. That's going to hold up this particular water source, and that's going to go right into the middle. The other benefit of having these spawn pads be 8 by 8 is I know exactly how to place down a bunch of carpets in such a way that we completely restrict spiders from being able to spawn in here. Only, of course, because we've got a 1x3 kill chamber, spiders won't be able to fit down there. Even if I did want spiders to spawn in here, they would still be a big old pain in the butt because, of course, they can climb walls. So when it comes to, you know, making any kind of spider spawner, my preferred method of spider farming is simply making a spawner box farm. You know, find yourself a dungeon with some cave spiders or regular spiders and then just make yourself a farm out of that. Having spiders spawn in a sort of generic hostile mob farm rather like this, though, nah, they're just a big old pain. So then, 3 things left to do for this mob farm. Number 1 is actually get the kill chamber set up. You know what? I think I've made a mistake, my friends, in that I think that actually, yes, the kill chamber should be sunk into the ground by a couple of blocks. Only if I want to have myself a passive switch in that the mobs that fall down onto the platform just flat out die, so we're passively always generating drops, we're going to need the drop to be a bit taller. So, yeah, we need to sink this into the ground by a few blocks. So, up here we are at Y85. So, up here at the water floor, we're at Y85. We need to minus 24 off of that, so most mobs wind up just dropping down to their deaths. So we need to get ourselves down to Y61, which for us, being down at the floor, being Y64, means that we need to go down 3 blocks. So with the hoppers being open, this would be the passive mode. Most mobs that fall down 24 blocks will just fall down to their deaths. However, if I was to have... Oh, I don't have any slabs on me. If I was to have myself a slab on top of the hoppers, then that would mean they are brought down to a one-shot instead, in which case I can go at them with a sword and get myself a bunch of XP, maybe even more drops as a result of looting, you know? Unfortunately, I don't have access to sticky pistons because I don't have any slime balls in this world just yet, so for now, I think we're going to have it in manual mode. So then, my friends, check it out, a sunken down kill chamber. It's definitely sort of a rough design right now, but this is what we've got going on. We've got these trapdoors here to stop baby zombies from being able to escape. I'm hoping that I'll still be able to grab the XP orbs through this gap here. The gap between the half slab and the trapdoor, that is. I mean, if we can't, then that's going to kind of put a spanner in the works. Then on this opposite side, you can see there's nothing really much going on here. And I don't want there to be because, of course, eventually, I'm going to add that passive mode switch. And I'm hoping that the space back here will be enough for all of the redstone component bits. I mean, it's not going to be much. It's just a few sticky pistons and a tiny bit of redstone dust, right? But anyway, this should be it for the kill chamber. So then, time to add in the kill chamber tube here. Kill chamber tube. Try and say that 10 times over very fast. Now, I know, this is definitely going to be an eyesore to a lot of you folks, but this is more so sort of proof of concept. Will I actually be able to have this be a fully functional mob farm? If so, then yeah, by all means, we'll go ahead in the next few episodes probably and dress this up a bit. For now, I just want to make sure it works. So then, kill chamber sorted. The next job is to grab ourselves out a whole bunch of carpets. And while we're in the chests here, we should probably start getting on top of our trapdoor supply. Only we're going to need quite a lot of them. And I've done the calculations. For each individual spawn pad, we're going to need half a stack of trapdoors. Now, since there's a grand total of 8 spawn pads, that is going to be 8 times half a stack, which is going to be, what, 4 full stacks of trapdoors. Ah, that's not too bad, though. We get ourselves 2 stacks of trapdoors per craft. Huh, okay. Well, in which case, we're okay. I've just realized as well, one of the other things we should probably consider is getting rid of the windows. Only they're going to be letting light into the spawn areas. Although it's not the correct tool for the job, we could use our silk touch shovel here to actually pick the panes back up, right? great. That way we could repurpose this glass and use it in a different build. So that's all the windows covered up. Now the time has come to get the carpets and trapdoors placed down. So starting off with the carpets, we're going to place them down in this formation. So essentially, there's 9 carpets per spawn platform. We're also going to start getting rid of the torches while we're here as well. And then we're also going to add ourselves in the trapdoors surrounding the entire platform. For any of you guys wondering why we are placing down these trapdoors, it's because mobs are stupid enough to believe that when these things are open, they are blocks they can walk on. So yeah, they just casually walk onto trapdoors that are open and just fall down. Turns out we may have actually made too many trapdoors. I forgot to factor in the idea that, yeah, this is only 1 block wide, thus it only needs 1 set of trapdoors, as opposed to a set of trapdoors on either side. But hey, as always, it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared, right? So, when all your carpets and trapdoors have been placed down, you should have something that looks like this. This is a fully complete spawning pad. So, all we've got to do now is rinse and repeat that whole process on this bottom layer, and then that is it. It's probably worth mentioning to start off with here, we're probably not going to get too crazy a rate of mobs spawning here and falling down into the kill chamber. There's a lot of other places where the mobs could spawn currently, isn't there? There's that big old rooftop I showed you earlier. There's underground. There's the surface as well. There's loads of places. So yeah, as time goes on and we start to light up all of these areas, the spawn rates, and therefore the efficiency of this mob farm, should increase. Hang on a minute, though. There's a couple of other little tidbits I need to do. First of which is to place down some vines just at the top layer. So it essentially, you know, resets their fall damage. So they always take the same amount of damage when they fall down to the bottom. Instead of there being a possibility of dudes spawning up the top here and falling all the way down directly into the kill chamber, thus just killing themselves, even if the mode wasn't in passive mode. The question is, though, where do we put the signs? How do we attach the signs to stop the water flowing here? I may have made a catastrophic boo-boo here, my friends. It's possible I might need to move these water sources back a block. Ah! Why didn't I think of that earlier? Real quick, an experiment. We've got ourselves a vine. Can you place a sign upon a vine? No, you can't. It just replaces it. Right. That's quite bad, actually. Oh, no. I'm going to have to push all the water source blocks back a block, aren't I? That way I can have the water flows end exactly at the edge of the kill chamber. Really should have thought about that earlier, huh? This really has been a gargantuan project for today's episode. By far the longest episode I have recorded in a very, very long time. So I really do hope you folks are digging this so far. I'm sure you guys, like me, are looking forward to the end product, seeing this thing in action. So, oh, I left the buckets down the bottom. Oh, my word. Why am I so dumb? Thankfully, getting these water source blocks moved wasn't actually too much of a headache. So, there we are. Right, that should now flow perfectly to the edge. It does. Thank goodness for that. I guess while we're here, we can get the vines added in, and in order to restrict them from being able to grow a whole bunch, we can place down a whole bunch of string like that. And there we go. The good news is getting these little 1 block wide waterways going again is actually incredibly easy. And there we are. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing is now ready to be fully tested. Oh my goodness me. This actually is it now, folks. So let's get this sign removed and let's start on our descent here. Making sure to plug up this gap here as well. There we are. And now we can get ourselves down the bottom. Oh my word, I'm so nervous. And I'm also very, very excited to see how this gets on. I hope that we get at least some dudes up there. At the very least, if I take my boat and quickly circle this island here and go back, that should be enough to where all the hostile mobs despawn at the mansion, right? And back we go. Oh man, I'm so excited for this. I really do hope that this results in some dudes spawning in at our hostile mob farm. If so, then we've done a good job. And all of our many, many hours of hard work will have paid off. In the meantime, I do want to remind you folks that if you have enjoyed today's episode, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider dropping a like, especially on this episode. As I said, I've spent a very, very long time on today's episode, so I really do hope that you have enjoyed it. All right, so no one up here so far. What if I was to do the whole entity count thing here? We are looking at the E line on the top right there. The first number, 3, is the amount of entities in our vision right now. So there's only 3? Really? Come on, there's got to be more. Oh, hang on a minute. I heard a creeper brother. Yeah! Unfortunately, though, the XP does seem to be trapped behind the trap door. But that's not really too much of an issue because we can get the XP, for some reason, through the corner here instead. So, yeah, it's not too bad. Ultimately, the fact is, our hostile mob drop trap farm squeezed inside of a woodland mansion is working. I cannot tell you how hyped I am at the fact that this thing is now up and running and working. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well worth the time I put into it. So, on that happy and successful and epic note, it's time to wrap up today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like if you've enjoyed today's episode. And of course, subscribe if you don't want to miss out on my future content. For now, though, have a great rest of your day.